good for just that.
Hi, this is part 2 of my discussion with Louise about counseling, verbal counseling, which she has many years experience in, versus the techniques I use, and we were just talking about how um, how the FDA probably doesn't really support neurolinguistic programming and hypnotherapy like they do other techniques, because these techniques are kind of based off not using drugs versus the ones that are supported with the drug industry.
Yeah, behavioral management is often countered with drugs. They use the drugs to also use the behavior management. Um, but I think that this and biofeedback are so much more effective, so much quicker. And the thing is that because they are produced results quickly, the cost is higher than actually going into a therapy session and paying maybe $75 per session. But when you think about adding up those sessions, if you've been in therapy for more than 6 months, that technique is not working for you in when you're doing behavioral techniques. And it takes a long time to change somebody's behavior and thought process.
Well,
And when you compare that to being able to go just a couple times, maybe, or maybe 4 or 5 times, the price evens out because it might be higher to do it in 2 sessions. But if you're looking at the price you pay over 6 months, some people a year, 2 years, 3 years, with a mentally ill. We've had people that have been on medications and been having therapy for, 10 years.
Right.
And they're in the same place. You get them to a certain point, and then there's a backslide. You get them to a certain point, and then there's a backslide.
Or you get them to a point where you feel like they're stabilized, but the issue's not gone.
Right, and part of the problem is the paying process, particularly if they're on Medicaid, and that regular insurances too. You only get a certain number of appointments,
right?
And after those appointments are gone, it stops, right. And there's no continuity,
right?
And that's the thing that really frustrated me about the mental health and counseling services is that once you started a person once you'd worked through all that and started them on a path of recovery, then the insurance companies and the Medicare companies decided, well, they've had enough, we're not putting any more money into them. And then you get that relapse, and then you go right back to the beginning.
Right. And
so they're not saving any money.
Right.
All they're doing is maintaining a client base.
Right. Right. And I'm glad you pointed it out that, like you said for yourself, you saw a total transformation, in one session. And although that session, maybe, upwards,
into the thousands of dollars can be. Yes.
Yeah, it can be. Not that each session is, but depending on what you're working on, yeah. I mean, it can be, like, just round it out. Let's say it's $1,000 a session. That if you actually have a breakthrough and a result in one session that leads you to having the results you wanted and a better life and better behaviors and results for people around you, when you think about it, at $100 a session to go, that would be 10 verbal counseling.
Right, absolutely.
And at the end of the 10, you're not going to have the result you want. You're still going to have more. And if they decide you need medications on top of that, now you have the 10 sessions, which is $1,000, and $100 a month for your medication, or
Right,
or
yeah.
$50 or whatever it is. It's still an extra added cost.